Hello, mes amours. Welcome to another great episode of the Before the Veil show. My name is Melissa Philippi, owner of Finest Planning and Decor Designing, where we plan and design for our distinctive, elegant, and timeless couples. Today, we will be talking about save the dates and invitations. Yes. The very two important things that announces your wedding. So if we are talking about sending out save the date, that means that you have compiled your guest list already. You have an A list and you have a B list. Your A list is going to be everyone that you can't do this day without. So your close family members and close friends. Your B list is going to be people that you would like to be there. However, you're managing your budget, you're taking care of your budget, and you want to make sure that you're staying within your budget. Now, after you send out your save the date and you send out your invitations, which we'll touch on later, you will have some people who are not able to make it. Then you can take from your B list and transfer to your A list. And by the way, no one needs to know if they were in the A list or B list. It's not for them to know, it's just for you, the bride and the groom, to know, okay? Now going back to the save the date. When do you send out your save the date? 9 to 12 months to guests who are out of the country. That gives them plenty of time to make proper preparation to be at your wedding, and also to let you know if they'll be able to make it. So for the guests who are in town, who are closer to you, save the date goes out to them 9 to 6 months before your wedding. Anything after that, 5 months before your wedding, save your money. There's no need to send out save the dates if you never send out any save the dates. 5 months before your wedding, they can just wait for the actual invitations. Now for your save the date, the information is simply going to be your names, the city and state your wedding is taking place in, and also your wedding date. I also want to mention that your save the date should also be in style with what your wedding is going to look like. So you may not have all the details, you don't know too much about the decorations or anything like that, but you also know that it will be formal or informal. You know that maybe the colors, what the colors are going to be. So you want your save the dates to be in line with what your wedding is going to be like. For your save the dates, you can send out electronic save the dates, so a video. These have become very popular. You can send out electronic save the dates, or you can send out paper save the dates. It's all up to you how you announce your wedding. Another thing to consider is that, would you like to use your engagement pictures for your save the dates? So that means you got to book your photographer, even if it's not your wedding photographer, but book a professional photographer for your engagement pictures, and that you may use them for your save the dates if you want to go that route. Now that we talked about save the dates, let's move on to your invitations. Your invitations, they go out 6 to 8 weeks before your wedding. Now that's for people who are closer to you. For people out of the country, you want to send them out a good 5 months before your wedding. And you want to give them time to prepare for your wedding, just like the save the dates. For your invitation, put some thoughts into it. Don't send out something basic. Subconsciously, it does put a pre-notion in people's head when you send out something that is not of the caliber of wedding that you will have. So take the time to say to yourself, how is my wedding going to be viewed by my guests? It is your wedding, but at the same time, you're giving your guests an experience and you're creating an experience for yourself. So your invitation is a prelude of that. And there are so many styles of invitations that you can choose from. So pair up with a vendor who can show you these different styles and choose what best suits you for your wedding. So now you are working with someone and you're creating your invitation suite. So your invitation suite basically is your main invitation and the inserts that comes with your invitation. Now we're talking about traditional invitations, sending out the invitations. So while you work with your vendor, they're going to present the different inserts to you. One of your inserts is going to be the RSVP card. The RSVP card may have a QR code to your wedding website so you can RSVP. Or it can be where you RSVP yourself, where you check that you will gladly attend the wedding and also choose your meal option and also how many seats are reserved for you. Now, what you will do is with that card, there will be a small envelope. That small envelope has a return address on it. You want to pre-stamp that envelope because you don't want any excuses on why the RSVP was late. You want to make it easy and convenient for your guests to send you your RSVP as soon they know that they will be attending your wedding. Now, our RSVP date, cutoff date is important. The cutoff date, the last day you should be receiving your RSVP, is a month before your wedding, because then you will know how many people will be attending your wedding, and that contributes to the final cost of your wedding. So the venue, the food, the rentals, the decor, it impacts all of that. So you want to give yourself time to make sure you receive your RSVPs a little bit before your wedding. So a month before your wedding generally is the standard time to receive your RSVPs. And if you have people who have not RSVP'd closer, I wouldn't say to wait on the date of or even the day after. I would say a little bit before the cutoff day, give them a call. If you're comfortable giving them a call, give them a call and say, hey, we just want to make sure, will you be attending? Because receiving that RSVP afterwards, and it's totally up to you. You receive the RSVP and you have to call them and say, hey, the cutoff day has passed and that's it. They're unable to attend the wedding. We do have some cutthroat couples like that. They don't play. But we do have some couples as well who would make exceptions. But it is in your best interest, though, to put your foot down when it comes to that. Don't let it linger, because people will take advantage of that. And let's say you're not receiving physical RSVP cards through the mail. You want to make sure that they are RSVPing online. Remember that QR code that was on the RSVP card? That should have taken them online. If you have a password to your website, make sure you include that on that insert. Now, if they're RSVPing online, you want to make sure that you are keeping track. You or your planner, you guys are keeping track on how many RSVPs that you guys have received in comparison to how many invitations were sent. And just like the paper invitation, do a courtesy call when it's getting closer. A week before, people have not RSVP'd, and you know, it may be an older person who's not too savvy with technology, so you want to give them a call. The next insert that you will have in your invitation suite will be the details card. Now, again, if you want to have these inserts in there, you can. So your details cards may have your attire. It may have specific address or direction. It may have accommodation, hotel accommodations for your guests. Anything that you want them to know about the wedding, you want to put it on that detail card. But to me, the easiest way is to the website. Send them on the website and they will have all that information as well. So that QR code on that one insert will serve all that purpose for them to RSVP and also see all the information you want your guests to know in your website. If you decide to go the traditional route of sending paper invitations to your guests, once you receive those invitations, you want to take one of them, fully assemble, and take it to the post office and make sure you weigh it out and for you to get an amount of what it will cost to send out your invitations. That's one thing as well that you want to be mindful when you are choosing the style of your invitation. A paper invitation will cost less to send out versus your acrylic invitations. A box invitation will cost different than your regular bifold invitations. So I actually had a client who paid around $900 to send out. That's not the cost of the invitation. That's just to mail their invitations out, $900. So keep that in mind. If that's something that you want to do, is that part of your budget? When you're budgeting for your invitations, make sure you are also allocating money for mailing those invitations as well. Just like your save the dates, you can do paper invitations, traditional style, or you can do electronic invitations. The only thing about electronic invitations, as you can see my face, I'm not too fond of them when it comes to a formal wedding. However, it is less, it costs less. It's not that it doesn't cost, but it costs a bit less to send out electronic invitations. To me, they are not as formal when you are having a formal wedding, a black tie wedding. I would say to stay away from electronic invitations. But if that's the route that you want to take, you can do electronic invitations and have your guests RSVP directly through that invitation. Another thing that you want to consider is that all of that, if you are a bride and you don't want to take on all of these details, you can work something out with your planner if it's not already included in your package with your planner. Your planner can take care of that for you. This is something that that's a service that we also provide, where we take care of your invitations as well. We go through the design aspect from save the dates to invitation and tracking your RSVPs. We go through the design process with you, and we also assemble these invitations as well and track your RSVPs for you. So if it's not something you have time for, planners, and again, it's based on the contract that you have with them, they can also help you with this, because it can be very involved for people who have a busy schedule. So that's something that you want to consider. Thank you for watching the Before the Veil show today. I hope the information that I brought to you today helped you during your planning process. We wish to see you next week again at 7:30 for a brand new show. Thank you for watching the Before the Veil show today. I hope the information that we brought to you today serves you during your planning process. If you have not subscribed, this is the time to do it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and also Facebook. Until next time, ciao.